Captain America, at least nowadays, is one of Marvel's most beloved characters. Chris Evans, and now Anthony Mackie, have taken the character to higher heights than likely anyone ever thought possible. In fact, the first Captain America from 2011 was the movie that got me interested in the MCU in the first place. However, we nearly got a Captain America movie way back in the early 1980s, based on a script by Universal. So, what if it was made? In the late 70s, Marvel would sell off the TV rights for Captain America to CBS. They hoped to recapture the success of their ongoing Incredible Hulk and Amazing Spider-Man TV shows. They would air 2 direct-to-TV Captain America films in 1979, with hopes of making an entire TV show. However, it would never come to fruition due to the movies drawing in lower numbers than expected. Marvel would then change their plans for Captain America, and after CBS's contract expired, they would sell the film rights to Universal Studios in 1981. They would hire Jeffrey Sprouse to pen a screenplay, which would have featured Jeff Bridges as Captain America, Clarence Giller Jr. as the Falcon, Alan Rickman as Baron Zemo, and Peter Fonda as Red Skull. Sprouse also hoped to somehow include Bucky Barnes into the movie as well. Now, the plot, seemingly, would have revolved around Steve Rogers, who's already been unfrozen from the ice and is trying to acclimate to the modern day, but he suffers from massive PTSD due to his time in World War II. Now, meanwhile, Baron Zemo would steal the Tesseract from the US government. It would make an attempt to break Red Skull out of prison. Red Skull was actually frozen along with Steve, and is being held in a block of ice by the government. Steve, along with Falcon, would then embark on a mission to apprehend Baron Zemo, regain the Tesseract, and prevent him from unfreezing Red Skull. However, the project started to get more expensive than Universal were comfortable with. The script would end up having to be rewritten multiple times, each time trying to lower the film's budget more and more. However, the project was ultimately never made, as instead they would end up losing the rights for Captain America in 1984, and they would be bought out by Canon Films instead. So if I could describe this version of Captain America in one word, I would say it's ambitious, that's for sure. You know, it's got Cap, it's got Bucky, it's got Falcon, Zemo, Red Skull. A lot of moving parts in this movie, that's for damn sure. So it's pretty ambitious, but I do think it skips over a lot of crucial stuff. Like, I would not skip over the World War II stuff, which this version was going to do. It was going to just skip ahead to the modern day stuff, which I'm not saying it's impossible to do that, but I definitely think it would work better if you started off with the World War II stuff, which is why I think the MCU did so well, because, you know, since we know, you know, he was a guy in the 40s, later on when we see him in modern day, not used to it, you can get both a lot of humor out of it as well as a lot of tragedy out of it. And I feel like this version would be a tad lacking in that, sadly. But I mean, I don't know. It could be possible. I mean, they could just do it in flashbacks. I think they could do that. But I think that if they just did a World War II movie and then a modern day movie, it would work better. I'm not saying you can, you know, not do it completely in modern day. It's possible. I think Jeff Bridges is a fantastic choice for Captain America. I think that he could definitely get in shape for the role. He had the good looks for it. And he's very talented. You know, he's a very talented actor. I could definitely see him as Captain America, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Alan Rickman as Baron Zemo, like, Damn, that sounds awesome to me. Peter Fonda as Red Skull. I mean, he looks kind of like Red Skull, honestly, to me. No offense to Peter Fonda, but he kind of looks like Red Skull a little bit anyway. I'm used to seeing him as Mephisto and Ghost Rider, but I could definitely see him as Red Skull too. Yeah. So I think this sounds okay. It would probably have been better than the one we actually got in 1990, the 21st Century Films one. That one was crap. So this one probably would have been at least a lot better than that. Because, Universal, I think, would have been willing to spend a bit more. I know they were trying to lower the budget, but I think they at least would have invested more than 21st Century Films did. Because 21st Century Films didn't really have money to throw around for that, because it was supposed to be at Cannon that they did it, and then Cannon went under, so they had to use what little money they had to just finish it up, and it ended up being crap. So, I'm thinking with a company a lot more stable like Universal, that Captain America would at least be decent in the 80s instead of terrible like it was. So yeah, who knows? But I mean, it does sound like there's a little too much going on, possibly. I mean, for a Captain America origin movie, I feel like you shouldn't put in Falcon and Bucky. And if you're gonna put in Bucky, I wouldn't make him like sidekick Bucky. You know what I mean? Because it sounds like they're gonna use sidekick Bucky, not like Winter Soldier Bucky. So that might be too much. And then you throw in Falcon as well. I mean, imagine they do the first ever Batman movie and it's got Robin and Batgirl in it. Wouldn't that seem a little crowded for a first Batman movie? That's just me, though, maybe. I don't. It sounds a little crowded to me. And it has two villains as well. And as I said, I think it skips over a lot of crucial World War II stuff. So, yeah, I think it would have been better than the 1991. But it would probably still not be as good as the Chris Evans trilogy, which, in my opinion, is the best trilogy that the MCU has done up to this point, besides the Avengers. It's one of those two, but I'd say probably Captain America for me personally. Oh wait, actually, Avengers is a quadrilogy. You get what I mean. I'm sorry. Whatever. But yeah, so I think that this movie would have been better than the 21st Century Films one with Matt Salinger, but it wouldn't have been as good as the Chris Evans ones, at least not in my opinion. But anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you think of Universal's Captain America. Would you have preferred it to the 21st Century Films one? Would you have even preferred it to the MCU ones? I'd love to hear all about it in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all of your friends on all your various social media platforms. And speaking of social media, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Rinzler_Productions, and I'll see all of you tomorrow in the next video.